last release, Nocturnal. So basically what I do is I usually start with drums. It depends on the idea, but you know, sometimes it'll be an idea in my head, like some chords or something like that, or a melody. But usually I kind of start with the drums. And so I just, see how my drums are all grouped right here? So I group, you know, Apple G is like grouping tracks. So that's something I like to do. I feel like a good amount of people do that. So with my whole drum, like, you know, you put all the drums together, and then you can sort of put something on them to make them sound like they're one drum kit, you know? Oh yeah, okay. So anyways, yeah, here's
So what he's saying is he can take all of the drums and then run them into one common channel and then put some effects on it so it feels like a cohesive drum set. So it's basically like there's little tricks like that where you can like put all the drums together and then put something on it to make it feel like it's in a room with you and like all the meshes.
And the interesting on this one, so what I did here, you notice there's this beat and then this beat. You know, so this was a special situation. I used two different kicks. So you have your like 808 kicks, and essentially that's going to be your sub bass as well. And then so for 808 kicks, you have, that's my sub bass. I don't have like another sub bass because they would all get in the way. And then for this beat, I have just my regular kick, you know, with the low end sort of like the really low end cut out, and then have my sub bass as a sine wave. Do you understand what I'm saying? Does that make sense to you guys at all?
I guess we should probably just discuss EQ just to touch the
Okay, well let me just go through layout then. I'll just simpler layout. So yes, I got all my drums here. And this is not my sub bass, this is my regular bass. So I usually do like, you know, drums, and then I'll go to bass. And I'll group my bass, group my drums. So that's just basic experience right there. So I got those dialed in. Let's see what else we got. Got a little harp. Just do that. Got a little synth. Here's my melody stuff. Clap again. Sax in there. Just a regular synth. So like for my lead, I'll have like 4 leads. Like basically what I try to do with the lead thing and the sax is I try to make like my sax. So if I was gonna make my lead tone that and all that. So that's like 4 different synths or whatever. So then I'll take all those, group those together so that's kind of like my one synth, you know? And then I'll kind of group my sax in there, and I try to, you know, depending on what time, but on a melody like that, I'm trying to make all those synths and my sax the melody, you know, like the main lead, sort of. So I do that, so it kind of sounds like. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that, and yeah, that little vocal sample in here. Shot crying, don't tell anybody. Don't tell my manager. So yeah, so this is kind of the first part, you know. Start with little drums, then move over to the bass, you know, maybe an arp, a main melody, some like mid-range, like pad type of thing. You know, and I just kind of go in like that. And one thing I'll say just about making a song in the way that I do it, you know, all these songs are like different like situations and like circumstances, you know, emotionally. You know, that's one thing, because I know piano and chords and what chords, you know, I've just studied tons of music. You know, what kind of chords convey different emotions and stuff like that. That's, I feel like, maybe more of my forte because I kind of feel how a chord and a melody sort of move together and can really like convey a particular emotion. So, you know, with me, you know, I'll make it quick, but you know, this part, you know, it's like, you know, you're about to go out and you're going on the street, you're getting up, rise and shine, you know, it's like, okay, swag, 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 swag. But then, you know, then you get to like, it's like, that's not this. You know, that's like, I'm swagging down the street. This is like, you know, it's like, damn, but my girlfriend just broke up with me, so it's like, swag, I don't know what to do with my swag. You know what I mean? So, it's like when I'm making songs, I'm like titling songs and you know, or even the build-ups, you know, it's all like different emotions and me really wanting to convey that stuff to you guys, you know, and like, just different shit that I've gone through in my life and this and that, you know, and I know you guys relate or can kind of relate in some way. So I think that's, you know, going back to like what he was first saying, even, you know, that's what it's all about is the exchange between us and you. So when you're writing, you know, don't forget that stuff is really important. That, you know, where that some of that real deep connection stuff you can get with your audience and you know, just you know, it's like your music. You might as well pour your heart into it. You know.
What message are you trying to send exactly? It's like, what do you like? What you in your music? You try and say like, this is my message. Or his is walking down the street and swagging out. So, but basically, it's like with all of this stuff and. You know, with the way that Dominic and I make music, it's like, you know, you can download drum banks online. You can be like, I want to download some hip-hop drums. And then basically each channel, Ableton comes with everything that you can to just sit there and make that stuff. So you can make a drum beat on your little keyboard, or you can get a little MIDI keyboard and you can play it, and you can just build it one piece at a time. You can take a sample and cut the low end out of it, or, you know, a lot of the stuff, like what he's talking about when he's talking about like leaving room for things, basically, EQ is like the full range of spectrum, and so like different things fit in different places. So like your bass is like the whole lower end of it. You know, the higher end is like the stuff that's real tinny. And so basically, what you do is you make a bunch of ideas, you make sure everything sounds good together, and then with EQ, you make sure that everything has room. So your bass, you cut off, like me personally, sub bass is like 200 hertz and underneath, which means hertz is like, you can basically see it like the lower the hertz, it's like a spectrum. So your bass fits in a certain area, your drums fit in a certain area, your synths fit in a certain area. Yeah, so like on the bass, you can see like, these are the different frequencies, and so like your bass is gonna sit from 200 and down, your sub bass, and your like, where 500 is, that's what your bass is gonna sound like on a small computer. Or headphones. And, you know, moving up, each different thing has a different range. So it's really important, like, you can stack a bunch of stuff, and that's what people, like, you know, beginners, it's really, once you start doing drums, then you do your bass, and then you do your keys, and then you do a lead line, and then you do some shakers or whatever. But the key part is like, really learning about mixing, and I'll say it again, the art of mixing book is, like, so crucial. But, because then it makes it so every channel sits in a place so that it's one big package and it all sounds right together. So, you know, you can make this stuff on the go, you can make it, you can take it home and do whatever you want to do with it, but learning about EQ and, you know, sometimes some people just do all their ideas really quick. They'll like record drums before they're even really like solidified. They'll record the chords and then they'll record a line on it and then they'll go back and fix the drums. But with this, it's like everything, you can make everything on time and it's all MIDI controlled, so it really is like open and free to be creative quickly and then going back and cleaning up if you want.
Do you want to do a little something?
Yeah. What do you guys think? You guys want
to real quick, the other thing is I just want to stress, you know, it's like all this stuff is like, it's all about the little things, you know, it's all about the little things. If you just spend that extra time, you know, it's like someone's like, clean the floor. You're like, okay, Well, you know, it's like, get the corners. Spend that extra 15 minutes. Because like I said, from the beginning, it's all an investment. And it's like, when I find myself, every single day, pretty much every day, I work like 8, 10, 12 hours a day pretty much. I don't take days off. But still, every day I struggle with like, you know, being productive and and just like, how can I be more productive with my time? Because I don't have a lot of time anymore and stuff. So anyways, you know, but when I find myself most satisfied and learning the most and growing the most is when I spend the extra time. And that's when, you know, it's like that, you know, spending the extra time on that set, you know, and really like, is this really going to be right? Like this little thing will, you know, it's like Electric Forest this year. It's like, man, I just went over and over and I was like, should I? Wait, no. What if we, you know, just over for fucking weeks, you know? It's just like,
each other.
I just,
Like,
is this cool? Do we like this? I just really wanted to be good. And, you know, I feel like it really paid off, you know? And it's like, dude, all that, you know, do that, go on that, when you don't want to, when you're like, oh, I don't want to, just fucking do it. Just go, do it. And 10 minutes later, when you're done with it, you're gonna be like, damn it, I'm stoked. And then it's gonna make you want to do it more and get that, it's gonna be infectious, you know? And then you'll start working harder, just like getting into it more, and before you know it, you're gonna be, who knows what. One would be like, can I open up for you? You're gonna be like, no.
Well put.
So yeah, I definitely agree with everything that he's saying. I think that, you know, a lot of the stuff that we used to focus on too is like he would bring his files in and I would be like, does every channel have an EQ on it? And then we'd go through and like 4 of them wouldn't, and I would just look at him like, dude, what's going on? Like, he doesn't have to do this. So, you know, with all this stuff, it's like you can do it either way, but there's a program that pretty much I feel like a lot of people use right now called Massive, and that's a program by Native Instruments that you can download, and you can make, this is that song Can We Go Up that I wrote for my record on Matt Decent, Diplo's label. So basically, like with this one synthesizer, and I'll pull this stuff up, you can pull this in, about to show you. Basically, it's like this one synthesizer can make all kinds of different tones, and you can program it in different ways. So even, you know, so even just playing those simple things, like I made 2 different synthesizers, and that one is a major sound, you know, so it sounds all happy. And then I used the same tone, and I came over and I, basically what you can do is it's now minor. So you can see it sounds kind of eerie, and what you can do is you can get in here and like this is playing one tone, and then you can switch this, so this is now playing, you know, so you can create different chords based on what you want, even if you don't know how to play chords. So, you know, it's an easy way for beginners to like get in here and just mess around with things and follow tutorials. And you can find out all about this stuff on the website and follow up from this. But you know, so with that, like I started with these chords, and you know. So it's like, you know, you put little things in the background that are barely noticeable but really add a lot and pay attention to detail, you know, so it's like there's this little thing in the background that's creating tension. You know, we have all of our drums and all this stuff, so it's basically like, everything is so freeing, and I can go in here and like, okay, so we have our hi-hats, which I'm not playing. Okay. Alright, so it's turning up, you can see right here, I have it automated. But like, so I could go in and, change the way that this stuff sounds. Alright, so you can see I have all these different sounds in this one plugin, and you can go through and make it so like, okay, if you're not really feeling that sound, but you like the pattern, I can just go in and change like what that sound actually is. So, let's see, we'll go over here. So, you know, I'm like, alright, I hate that hi-hat sound. So you can just change it, you can really like experiment with different sound things, and it makes it so easy to just like creatively change things, and it's like, a lot of stuff will happen by accident, you'll just be messing around, you're like, you know, and that's that's what's so cool about it is you can just like literally like, the way I do things is a little bit differently when I'm making tracks. I build things on this side, so it's like a group of tracks, which will play a certain section of the song. So basically, like when I'm making each song, I'm basically like in the studio jamming out by myself really intensely and playing with a bunch of different ideas. And so that's what I really like personally about this program too is like, you know, you could build your lead synth and then go in and play with all your drums and then, you know, you build all the layers kind of like Dom showed you, but it's so easy to change the sound and change what you want. It's like, it's pretty much endless. And that's why it's interesting to me because of software like this and because of everything else, like anyone, you can have your voice and you can learn how to like make it sound dope. So like the possibilities are endless and that's why like there's some amazing 16-year-old producers that are just killing it because they just applied themselves and read a few things.
And also because they were on YouTube.
Yeah.
If y'all don't know about YouTube, just go because you can figure out anything. Anything music production-wise is, I swear, on YouTube.
Yeah,
it's all
that's true. Sure.
So
I know. I think that's a pretty good coverage of like what it is. We'll have some more in depth, like per level courses on how people can really develop their live show and their studio work and learn more about EQ. But I think as a whole, like really this software and other software like that, you can easily find it online. A lot of the stuff can be downloaded for free. People are generally open to answering questions, and yeah, so it's really exciting.